Welcome back to the Sanctuary, Final Fantasy XIV Dawntrail, and the Healer Role questline. Cruiser Gex, along with me, Ilfang, and Kotori. So far, we are 4 out of 6 quests away from the end, or we got 2 quests. I swear I can talk today. We have 2 more quests before the end of this quest line. Last episode, our pursuit of Eloret and Kokonoa and the Heart Sting have led to some wildly wacky results in Camp Bronze Lake, where they used the Heart Sting to poison the waters of the hot spring, causing everyone to hallucinate. So far we've got paralysis, we've got temporary blindness, we've got hallucinations. What new tricks can be discovered in these last 2 quests? Yeah, probably. Anywhoosie. For this quest, we are going to spin the wheel of gamers to determine which job we are going to run this quest as. And the wheel has spoken, and it says... Ooh, it was a close one, but we are rocking White Mage again. All right, so we don't even need to swap jobs because I'm already in White Mage mode. So without further ado, let's get right down to it with the level 98 quest, Downed by the River. Chris, I'm glad you're here. I'm on the cusp of a breakthrough in our search. Or I'd like to think so. This won't come as a surprise, but Eloret and Kokonoa went back into hiding after the Bronze Lake incident. With all that grandstanding, I wasn't expecting them to lay low for so long, but I doubt they'll keep it that way. Fortunately, we have prior experience to guide us. Until now, our culprits have traveled all over Vilbrand, and they don't appear to be retracing their steps. I hear Costa del Sol attracts many visitors, so that seems like a likely target. They say it's owned by an entrepreneur called Gegeruju. Perhaps I can ask if he spied anything out of the ordinary. All right, Costa del Sol it is. I have really lucked out with this quest line, because everywhere I've gone in Vilbrand so far has just been clear skies and just no rain. Anyway, Loashkana? What picturesque scenery. I hadn't expected Costa del Sol to be so grand. From what I gather, Gegeruju should be just up ahead. I don't suppose you're already acquainted with him. For better or worse, yes. That's not very encouraging. But as long as you're on good enough terms, I'm sure we'll be fine. In any case, let's be on our way. Well, if it isn't our favorite intrepid adventurer, what business brings you to my abode? Why, yes, I did spy that lovely specimen over here. Alas, I was so entranced by her feminine wiles that I cannot recall any such entourage of Lalafellin men or mammoths. Would that I never drank that wine she so gracefully gifted me. A single sip and I saw, oh, so many stars. I thought them wonderful in those first blissful moments. I partook of the drink amongst my... What's that? I partook of the drink amongst my retinue of kittens. Yet as the rush of stars subsided, I found myself surrounded by a flock of unfamiliar faces instead. At first, I presumed the wine caught up to me faster than I had anticipated. But time passed and the unknown faces stubbornly remained. I dashed across the shore in terror. In the midst of the mayhem, I could hear her, the wine-wielding beauty, maniacally laughing in the distance with some other chap. I feared these cackles would be the last thing I ever heard. Which is precisely why I found it appropriate to slap the sense back into him. Oh. Wayskyet. I should have known it was him. Judging by the way Master Gegeruju was dawdling around at the time, I suspected he'd been in his cups. Drank the whole bloody bottle too, so if you wish to investigate the wine itself, I'm afraid that's not possible. Can you blame me? Questionability of her wine aside, that woman was immaculate! A sight for sore eyes! Any gentleman of taste would have fallen for her tricks! Though we may lack the drink in question, we received reports of mammoths roaming Raincatcher Gully not long after the incident. If you intend to investigate this further, you'd certainly be doing us a favor. Any news of wayward mammoths is promising for us. We'll give the gully a look and relay to you whatever we find. Godspeed out there. Then our next destination is clear. But before we depart, Chris, might I have a word? Just stoic nods. Based on Gegeruju's account, it's safe to say Elleret's discovered a new poison. While similar to the hallucinatory toxin she used at Bronze Lake, it strikes terror into the hearts of its victims instead. I have a bad feeling about this. She's gaining proficiency with the heart sting at an alarming rate, so we must tread carefully when next we cross paths with her. As for the mammoths, Okinawa doesn't seem the type to send them wandering around aimlessly. That's why I think they're bound to have some clues on them. If we can track those mammoths down in Raincatcher Gully, we may be able to discern what those two are planning next. Alright, Raincatcher Gully it is. A straight shot over the hills, and we'll be there in a minute. Oh, Paul coming through. All right, we've got our destination. Two more mammoths. We'll cast D on them both, then holy them to high hell. Oh, they resist stun, huh? That's fine, I still got glare. And, oh, more mammoths. Almost too easy. All right, let's head back to Loashkana. Phew. Think we cleared out the mammoths. How fared your hunt? So they've been keeping a record of the island's rivers. Oddly enough, the mammoths I came across were patrolling the river as well. Now that they've tested their poisons on Bronze Lake Springs, they mean to take to the rivers next? Reds, look out! My. That dart was laced with a potent numbing toxin. But nothing bruises our fairy apple, it seems. You never cease to amaze and annoy me in equal measure. She's like to have the same manner of immunity as I. The village was positively brimming with poisonous flora and fauna, after all. I have a request for you, my dears. Would you please give up on your little trinket? Pretty please? I only wish to revel in the fruits of my devilry, yet you continue to spoil my every attempt. And trust me, I despise our conflict as much as you do. Indeed! You think we enjoy watching our finest mermaids suffer at your hands? Enough! If you truly wanted to end this, you'd hand over the heart sting. The Scorpion's gifts weren't meant for a petulant, childish criminal like you. Fine then. No more Mrs. Nice, Elleret. But answer me this. Who have my antics killed? Who? No one, I remind you. So, why must you refuse me? Why must the world refuse me? Our blighted society has never looked fondly upon my love of mischief. For years, I despaired, until my unbound family and its leader granted me the greatest gifts of all, love and understanding. So as long as I remain unbound, I care not what the wretched masses think. I shall play my tricks as my heart desires, and all who stand in defiance will know my wrath. That includes you, my dears.
Hear me, rawr.
My next scheme will finally plunge this land into the chaos I so desperately crave. And I will stop at nothing to see it realized. Really getting annoying with those bombs. Loashkana? Sorry to worry you, Chris. I'm feeling much better now. I'm ashamed I didn't sense that mammoth's presence quickly enough, but I'm glad you came out of the ambush unscathed. That aside, I wish they didn't use such putrid smoke to make their exits. I don't know if my nose or my stomach can take any more of those awful bombs. With Alloret and Kokonoha gone, I doubt we'll be able to find much else here. Let's return to Costa del Sol and inform them of the latest. Sounds good to me. I swear, we had to deal with a spoiled brat in the magical DPS quest line. Now we gotta deal with another spoiled brat in this one? Fuck.
Spoiled brats do have a way of becoming evil.
Shall we report to Gegaruju? Back already? How fortuitous! Or ominous? Or both even?
Take it you found those wayward mermaids? Surveying Vilbrun's waterways, are they?
After the recent poisoning at Camp Bronze Lake, we have reason to believe the culprits are planning to make Vilbrand's rivers their next target.
The culprits are one and the same then. I have my suspicions since I caught wind of the incident at Warm Wine Springs. Regardless, this bodes ill. We may not know which of these rivers they'll strike until it's too late.
Well, I shall not stand for any more preposterous poisonings. It would be prudent to inform the Maelstrom of these potential horrors. The one who poisoned you, her name is Elleret. She stole something precious from my village, and I must recover it, no matter the cost. If you learn anything of her whereabouts or her plans in the coming days, anything at all, I'd like to hear of it as well.
Hell's bent on finding her, eh? Brave one you are.
Oh, I couldn't possibly deprive a lovely lady of the information she requires. Pray not, for my servants shall sally forth in your general direction the moment they hear of Elleret's newest misdeeds. Thank you. That'd be much appreciated. It's going to be an uphill battle, but we can't afford to let Elleret and Kokonoa elude us any further. Come, Chris. It's back to Limsa Minsa with us. All right, back to Limsa. It feels good that we're almost done with this.
I mostly feel cold.
You feel old?
I mean, yes, but cold.
Oh. Loashkana? Thank you as always for your support, Chris. Gegarushu was interesting to say the least. But I'm glad we attained the information we needed. I don't know why I allowed Elleret to say her piece. I should have swallowed my pain and taken up my spear. We could have apprehended her right then and there, and yet... There's no more room for mistakes. The longer Elleret lurks in the shadows, the greater the threat becomes. Countless lives are at risk. The next time we find her, we end her tricks once and for all. For now, I'll remain here and await news from Costa del Sol. The final quest of the healer quest line will be the level 100 quest, An Antidote for Anarchy. We're going to take a quick break and we will be back with more. If you're watching on Twitch or Kick, stay tuned. If you're watching on YouTube, here are the links provided. See you in a bit.